How you doing, YouTube? This is Gunnery Sergeant 67 bringing you another YouTube video. Today's YouTube video is going to be on the California fires. A perfect example why you need a bug out plan. Alright YouTube, let's get into it. Alright, so what's going on right now in the western part of the United States is there is a massive wildfire going on in Palisade, California. To date, it has burned more than 17,234 acres, which is equivalent of about 27 square miles. It's destroyed over 1,000 structures, and it's killed at least 5 people. I think out of those 5, 2 of them are firefighters. This fire has shifted extremely fast. It is burning on the east and west side of Palisade, to my understanding of all the reports. And having lived in California, I do know exactly where this is at. And one of the things that is making this fire difficult is, number one, the topography. It's a lot of rolling hills, a lot of gullies, a lot of things like that. And it's hard for the firefighters to get in there. In addition to that, yesterday, it was reported by California fire authorities that winds have reached over 100 miles fanning these flames, and it's caused this fire to jump. So not only is it on the eastern side of Palisade, but it's also on the western side as well. And that causes a lot of problems when you have winds that high. Not only is it feeding these flames and making them spread faster, but it's also kicking up burning ash and debris up into the air, and it's settling into other locations, causing other spot fires. It's making it really difficult. And what the fire authorities have said in California is that right now, with the Santa Ana winds blowing the way they are, this fire is completely uncontainable until those winds die down. So right now they are strictly in structure defense mode. They're trying to protect houses, they're trying to protect structures, but it's making it very difficult for them. But this event right now that's going on in California is a perfect example why you need a bug out plan. I have many friends that are preppers, and a lot of them have said, hey, I don't have a bug out plan. I don't need one. My bug out plan is to hunker down at home. I agree with that preparedness plan 90% of the time. But when you have an instance like these fires, that you have some type of event that is going to hit your area and possibly destroy your home and could possibly take your life and your family's life, to me, there is no more hunkering down. It is time to leave. Whether you want to or not, you have to leave. And if you have to leave, don't make it hard on yourself for you to leave. Make sure that you have some of these things that are planned out. That way, when you have to bug out, it is as seamless as possible. The less stress you have getting out of the area with you and your family and all of your bug out equipment that you can take, the better off you're going to be. So I've got a couple of things that you can do to make bugging out a lot more easier, a lot more effective, and with the best chance of survival. All right, my first thing is to ensure your insurance is in good standing. That is your life insurance, your home insurance, your vehicle insurance, flood insurance. I live here in Florida. Flood insurance is very important, and fire insurance if you are one of the individuals that live out in California. Make sure all of those are good to go. Make sure your payments are up to date. Make sure that your specific insurance is tailored for the natural disasters that are happening in your area. If you don't, your insurance might not cover your homes, your vehicles. If you don't, here in Florida, if you don't have flood insurance and a hurricane hits, you're not going to get reimbursed, and you're going to be in a bad way. So make sure those incidentals in your insurance are tacked on to your insurance policy and they're in good standings. Next, ensure you have all your important paperwork and pictures together, easily accessible to grab and go. Make sure that you have all of your social security cards, your birth certificates, deeds to your property if you own them outright, your pink slips to your vehicles, paperwork for stocks and bonds, and any investments that you need. That important paperwork, you need to make sure that it is in one central location and you can grab them and go. I have a fire safe box that I have all of my important documentation in, and it's staged where all of my bug out bags are. That way, if something happens here, I can just grab that fire safe box, throw it in my truck, and we can get out of Dodge. All right, the next thing, you need to have a well-stocked and thought-out bug-out bag for each family member. When these events happen, it's extremely stressful. We're not always thinking clearly. So in advance, if you sit down there and plan out a well-thought-out bug-out bag, what your needs, your life-sustaining needs, and you put that into your bug-out bag, then your chances of survival and success and being as comfortable as possible through the duration of the crisis is going to be that much better. So make sure that you have all the life-sustaining items and assets in those bug-out bags that will get you through any event. And make sure you have one for each person. Again, a crisis happens, you go grab all your bug-out bags, throw them in the vehicle, and you can get out of Dodge. It makes it easy, simple, and again, it gives you that higher probability of getting out of the other side of this crisis a lot better. Next, ensure your vehicle's maintenance has been kept up with. I cannot tell you how scary it would be if I was living in California, if I'm somebody that's there right now, and you're trying to get out of the area, you're trying to bug out, and your vehicle stops because you've ran out of gas. Or if one of your tires blows and you don't know how to change a tire, or you don't even have a spare. Nowadays, brand new cars, some of them don't even come with spares. Make sure the maintenance on your vehicle is kept up. Make sure that your tires are aired up to the proper pressure. Make sure you have a serviceable spare tire and all of the things that you would need to change that tire. Make sure you have jumper cables. Make sure you have all of those vehicle upkeep items in your vehicle ready to go. That way, if something happens, you're fine. You can go ahead and deal with the issue, and then you can continue bugging out. So ensure your vehicle maintenance has been kept up with. Next, ensure you know what your evacuation routes are. Here in Florida, deal with hurricanes all the time. Those hurricanes, when they hit our location, the National Guard, the state government, shuts off roads sometimes. They block roads to facilitate people getting out of the area. Like when Milton came through here, it hit below the Tampa Bay area, it went into the Orlando area, Cape Canaveral, things like that. All of that traffic was directed north. So what they did, all the southbound traffic, they blocked off and they allowed people to go north. So if for whatever reason your plan is to go a different route, but it's been blocked off, you're kind of in a bad position. Know what your evacuation routes are or your evacuation zones are. If they sit back and say, hey, evacuation zone A needs to evacuate right now, and you're zone A and you don't know that you're zone A, everybody's evacuating, but you're still there, you're up shit's creek. You're in trouble. Know what your evacuation zones are. And that leads directly into the next one. Ensure you know your evacuation routes. What I said earlier. Know which routes that will be shut down, which routes will be open for you to get out of the area. Next, have multiple egress routes in case your main route is blocked. A couple years ago, a hurricane hit here in Florida, and me and my family decided to get out of the area. And when we were leaving, the bridge that we need to get across was shut down by the local authorities. So I had to go all the way around. It was an additional hour and a half to get out of the area. That was something that I didn't know of. I was still new in the area here in Florida. It was extremely scary, and I had to go ahead and maneuver through all of these side roads to get past this bridge. This is something that you do not want to go ahead and deal with. You want to have multiple routes that you know at these choke points to get out of the area in case a disaster happens. You don't want to have that headache. It's extremely nerve-wracking, and it could be potentially deadly. Luckily, I learned from my mistake. It wasn't a catastrophic outcome for me and my family, and it's something that I will never do again. Have multiple egress routes. And then the last but not least, already have a bug out location destination picked out. This is crucial. If you don't have a bug out location picked out, you're basically a refugee. You're just going on with the golden horde, as I like to call it. And that is not good. Whenever we have a hurricane that is projected to hit my area here in Florida, what I will do right when I find out it's coming, I find out when is the projected time it's going to hit, the projected path, and then I will go ahead and call in the area of the hotels and book a hotel at least early the next day that the hurricane is supposed to hit in the area. That way I have a reservation. Even if I get there a day early, at the most, me and my family just have to stay in our car for 8 hours. I usually try to book the hotels early. Here in Florida, during natural disasters, a lot of places take early reservations, so that's what I try to do. I try to make sure I go ahead and pick these places, especially here. Very few hurricanes go inland. Most of them skirt the coast. Milton was an example of one that didn't skirt the coast, but with Milton, it didn't come up in my area. It went into the Western Panhandle, and then it went up to Georgia and North Carolina and all that other stuff. So it didn't really impact me too much. But I always make sure that when a hurricane is near my location, I pick a place, a town that I'm going to be going to, and I make a hotel reservation prior to days before. Now, granted, with things like these fires, you don't have that option because it's something that can spontaneously happen, but you need to pre-plan, hey, if this natural disaster or this man-made disaster happens and it's coming from this location, where am I going to go? The more planned out your bug out plan is for when you have to bug out, the better off you're going to be. All right, YouTube, that's about it. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. If you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. In the comments, let me know what you like, what you don't like. This is Gunnery Sergeant 67. I'm out.